Are we streaming?
We are now.
Okay. What's up?
Welcome to Jump and Shoot Bros. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jeremy.
I shoot, he jumps.
Mm-hmm.
And we are bros, believe it or not. And we're here to bring you Mega Man X as part X in our series of Mega Man game playing and talking.
Part 9.
Man,
the ninth in sequence.
We should have called it
Dude,
Talking and Play.
you know
Bros.
what we actually should be playing this week? And
What?
not Mega Man X?
What?
Mega Man and Bass. Rockman and Forte. That is
Yeah.
canonical.
It's not a numbered
Mega
Mega
Man
Man
game.
game, so who cares?
It's fun though.
It's not numbered though, so we can come back to it later.
Yeah. It'll be an offshoot. Like Mega Man 9 and 10.
Right, yeah. I mean they're not numbered, so it's not real.
And then we gotta play Mighty Number 9.
Right, well that is a canonical Mega Man game. Okay, well, it looks like everything's good. Just checking the stream here. Audio's good, which has traditionally been our downfall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Nom Engineering. Nom Engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nom, eating some pizza, nom,
Yeah.
Doing some engineering. I don't know.
That's right. That's what it is. So the copyright on Dr. Kane's research, I guess, is like the year 2105 through the year 2120 or something like that.
Okay.
So, presumably, if the year 2000 XX, 20XX, it could be any in that decade. Any year in that decade. It could be it could be 2079.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, yes, it could be exactly 30 years in the future. What are the chances though that Dr. Light buried that capsule and Dr. Kane found it exactly 30 years later?
Well, I don't know that.
He discovered it. No, it was supposed to be hidden for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have been 140 years later.
Well, sure, but Mega Man isn't really well known for having like the most profound and extraordinarily well thought out storylines, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty reasonable to me to assume that they just were like, yeah, and 30 years later,
30 years later, it was discovered on an because Dr. Kane is an archaeologist. He found it on a dig.
a robot archaeologist.
No, actually, it had nothing to do with robotics. He got into the biz because he found X. And then he started creating the Reploids. So the story of Mega Man X, if you don't know.
No, I don't, because it says all the stuff in that opening crawl there.
Yeah.
And then you just start killing. It's like if X breaks the first rule of robotics, it would be, grave danger. And then you're like, okay, cool. So X is going to be like a peaceful boy, right?
Yeah.
And then you are thrust into this situation where you're doing a bunch of murdering and killing. I mean, of course, with robots, but the point being, you don't have a lot of context for what's going on here.
Right. So X was, of course, created by Dr. Light and all that stuff you read at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Kane found him and was like, oh, this is amazing. This is this type of robotics we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started creating Reploids, is what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And, designed after X.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, as, and Zero's here for some reason. I don't know, where he was discovered. It never talks about that. But Zero was the first Maverick. So Dr. Kane created Sigma to hunt Zero down. And then a bunch of other robots, or a bunch of other of his Reploids started going Maverick. And then Zero and Sigma fight. And somehow they switch, and Zero is now not a Maverick anymore, and Sigma is a Maverick. So then he sends X and Zero off to stop Sigma.
So is Zero a Reploid?
No, Zero was created by Dr. Wily.
Oh. Sounds like a bunch of lore to me.
Mm-hmm. Zero was Dr. Wily's last creation.
Okay. Before dying at the hand of Mega Man.
Right. Zero was built to replace Base.
When in Mega Man 11, Mega Man brutally murders in cold blood Dr. Wily.
Yeah. It would be freaking awesome if Mega Man 11 has this surprise twist ending where Zero shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it.
It would be cool to bridge the gap.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Capcom has major plans for bridging that gap, or do you think they could just shoehorn that into Mega Man 11?
I'm sure they've been planning it this whole time. From the beginning, they've had a plan that involves all the way up to Mega Man 11.
They had a plan that involved all the way up through Mega Man 11, and also a 20-year hiatus where they don't make any Mega Man games.
Yeah, that was all part of the plan.
Or 14 years or whatever.
It was just like George Lucas.
Yeah. He had always planned to make a trilogy, and then wait 20 years and make another trilogy, and then wait 20 years and have someone else make another trilogy.
Well, they knew that they wouldn't have the time for, yeah. Yep, jumping and shooting. That's what we do. And they knew they wouldn't have the technology at the time to make Mega Man 9, 10, and 11.
Right.
So they waited until the technology had gotten to where it needed to be.
Right.
You know that's what happened.
They stopped after 8, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna have to wait until after 8 was pretty cool, pretty slick. We're gonna have to wait until technology catches up to where we can make another 8-bit like game. I don't know why I'm stopping to get that. So that's what happened.
Right. Yeah, okay, so with that being said, then, I mean, Zero's definitely gonna show up in Mega Man 11, right?
I'd be upset if he didn't.
And then Mega Man's gonna be like, "Hey, what's that? You know, what's that thing right there?"
And
Zero's going to absolutely and utterly and completely dismantle Mega Man.
I think it would be awesome if Mega Man dies in the end, and
because
gets killed by Zero.
Mega Man would be so outclassed.
Yeah.
By Zero, it would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
He can't even dash.
Yeah.
He can't even dash.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, it would be slaughter. There, can you take over for just a second?
No, I don't speed run.
Yeah, neither do I.
No, sure you do. What do you got to do?
You know, just play the level. I'll be back. Oh, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
Return a call real quick.
All right. Well, whenever I take over solo, it never goes too well. So get ready to watch failure. The embodiment of failure right here. Whoop. It almost happened. Whoop. No, that's fine. I'm really good at Mega Man. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I'm pretty much like a professional Mega Man player. Ooh, you know what? I think our Twitch stream says the wrong game. I think it still says Mega Man 8. I'll probably fix that here in a minute. Anyway, so tomfoolery and dirking around. How's it going, man? Feeling good? I'll be awaiting your reply there. But aside from that, this game I only ever played the MS-DOS version of this game, just so you know. So this is all new to me, the Super Nintendo version. It has way less stylish music than the MS-DOS version. Living the dream. Same here, man. Same here. You just watch as I just get destroyed in a game that I'm not good at. Jeremy's the one who plays Mega Man games, not me. As a child, I didn't have access to Mega Man except for on MS-DOS, which was not quite the same experience. And you know, that's fine. But You know, it's you play the game with a keyboard and well, not really a mouse, but there's no mousing, I guess, to happen there. But play a game with a keyboard when you're growing up, and then this NES controller just doesn't have the same feel. So that's my excuse for why I suck so bad. Well, hey man, I try. You know, I'm going to be you know, definitely going out for the majors this year. The Major League Mega Man speedrunning, I think, is the category I'm going to be in, because, you know, I may not I may not be able to do much, but I can go fast. I'm much like Sonic the Hedgehog in that respect. So we'll see about that. Oh. Okay. Yeah, not having a good time here. Oh. Oh. Oof. Man, that hurt. I don't know if I can carry on now. Don't worry, I'm real good at Chill Penguin, so you're gonna really enjoy this fight, assuming I ever get there. I think you're gonna be impressed. Okay. Here we go. Get ready to be impressed. Is all I have to say to you. Sorry, gotta concentrate. Can't talk. Can't read either. I know there's... Oh, shit. Man, probably. I probably like jokes, if you had to press me on the issue. But here's the thing, though. I can barely hold it together here on this intense Chill Penguin match that we're gonna be going down with. You know, as I said before, I'm quite a master at the Chill Penguin stage. Well, not really the stage, more like the boss fight.
Why are you doing this again?
I game overed.
What, seriously?
Yeah.
You died 3 times.
Yeah, well, I died, you know, twice in the level, and then got to Chill Penguin and did not beat him. I got real close, but I went into it with less than full health, so it was a bad.
I like the magnet. That's pretty cool, man.
It is. I think it works out pretty well. Tried it with 1 magnet. It didn't really work out, so I put 3 in there, and now it really grabs the caps. We're talking about the bottle opener that I created over there, by the way. No, Jeremy. This is my run now.
Okay.
This is my run.
Well,
get ready to be impressed. I've been really, you know, upping my skills here. Yep. I damage boosted that for reasons. I have a reason.
What? What has 9 arms and sucks? 9 arms.
You can't trust this guy. I've been talking with him in the chat here, man. He's a troublemaker.
Oh yeah?
For sure, yeah. You never know. He burned me pretty good earlier. Okay.
That's a good one. Actually.
All right, that. I'll give you credit for that. That's pretty good. Dude, I'm like good at this game. Have you ever seen how good I am?
You're tearing it up.
This is a no damage run, bro.
Yep. I can see that.
I always get hit by that one. I don't think you can dodge it.
Oh, right. Because no damage runs don't exist for this game.
Well, how do you dodge that one? Like, the only platform you can land on is completely and utterly encapsulated by the snowball.
Yeah.
Okay, get ready for this. Buster only match with Chill Penguin.
Oh, man.
What?
We don't coddle people in this stream, man. So if your feelings are hurt, you can just go cry in a corner.
Who?
Oh, he just said his feelings are hurt. So.
Oh. Well, shit, man.
Or she. I don't know who tomfoolery and dirking around is.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Sorry to gender you. I know that's real.
He, she, it. I mean, they. Whatever you.
That's a real criminal offense at this point.
So,
in our
how many lives do you have left?
I got 2 lives left.
Okay.
Dude, I'm gonna do it, man. Like, don't even worry about it. I'm so good at Chill Penguin. Like, Chill Penguin is pretty much my childhood. You know, the only boss I ever fought when playing this game.
Do some dash lemons, man.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
You just shoot while you're dashing.
Yeah, that's way above my skill level. Shit. Alright, here you go. Just beat the stupid fucking penguin. He's a penguin. Is that my pizza or yours? I think it's mine.
It's yours. I ate all of what I was eating.
I'm just not doing well today. You know, I'm pretty good at Mega Man.
Right, yeah. In general, he's a pro. Wow, I'm doing good too.
Oh. Okay. Well, hey, I'm fairly certain that that's what we gendered you as. So I think we're in the clear here. Unless I'm confused about something. Oh, snap. Denied. Wow, I didn't even know you could shoot him back.
Yeah.
I always just tried to dodge him when he's jumping at me. Man, how little knowledge I have. You know, they say one who knows nothing can understand nothing.
Right. Okay.
I usually do that when I'm playing the game.
Were you born male? Is that your sex or your gender?
Oh. Hey, that's a good question. I didn't even think of that. That shows how just how out of the loop and out of touch I am.
What do you even do? Like, it's considered in some circles to be an assault now to call somebody by the wrong gender pronoun. It's violence. Like it's considered to be like physical assault.
Well, clearly I haven't. I mean, look, man. All I know is that I obviously have not checked my privilege enough because, like, I didn't even think about like the ramifications of that.
Right.
like
I did because I've been watching a lot of like videos and whatnot on just the absurdity.
Been watching a lot of Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson? No.
Mm-hmm. Oh well.
Who's Jordan Peterson?
He's a behavioral psychologist.
Oh yeah.
Who talks about these issues? Some of these issues, some of those issues, some of them issues, some of they issues.
There's a
some of it issues.
There's a guy named Steven Crowder who goes to college campuses and just sets up like a little table with a poster board on it, and like he'll go to like Berkeley or somewhere and set up a table that says there are only 2 genders, prove me wrong, or try to change my mind or something. And it's very
then you're in the same place. You're in the same place as PM. I don't know what that refers to exactly, but I know the Canadian government is getting real crazy about the about like putting legal weight behind
are you serious?
Gender pronoun usage and stuff like that. That it's like hate speech essentially.
Sorry, man.
So Canada.
Move to the United States where that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but it's probably like next week or
Prime Minister. Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you know, that's where Jordan Peterson is, and so it hits close to home for this guy.
Yeah.
You know, because he's a psychologist. You know, he's a professor of psychology.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he does a lot of talks about this sort of stuff because in his mind, it's like, well, this is just ridiculous. It's insanity.
Right.
You know, and it's being put to law.
That's,
you know, insanity is being put to law, and
so
it's
okay.
kind of like,
I'm just gonna call you Tom. I don't know. So Tom. So what are some of the actions that are considered illegal, I guess, and what are the ramifications for those actions in Canada?
We'll wait.
Curious, yeah, I'm curious to know from a Canadian, because I didn't know about this until just now.
Well, I think I know for sure that what Jordan Peterson is on about a lot, because I have listened to quite a bit of his talks and stuff lately, just because I think he's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
But which, by saying that, I probably have committed violence of some sort. But I know a lot of it has to do with education, like in the field of education, like educators being not able to. Like compelled speech is a big thing, apparently, where you're as an educator, you can't like refuse to use students' preferred pronouns.
Refusal, like actual
like
refusal.
you must, if somebody requests that they do want to be referred to as you know, you know, sausage biscuit sandwich, you must.
What are the pronouns for a sausage biscuit sandwich? It.
No, it's sausage biscuit sandwich, actually. So whenever you're like,
nothing lawful at the moment. Looking to change the female as male, and I accidentally. Oh shit. So it's like, I mean, seriously, like if you're in public and you see a female and you say, "Hello, miss," and she says, "How dare you call me miss," then you could actually possibly in the future be charged for that.
Yeah, it's kind of seems like what it sounds like. What do they call it? Canada, they have a board of like decency or something that determines these things.
And it's a legal issue, or is this like a civil thing?
Like
you can be sued for it, or you can be fined or arrested for it.
From what it sounds like, it's like serious shit can happen. Like, you know, educators. Like, I only know about it from the perspective of educators because I listened to Jordan Peterson's talk about it, and he's an educator, so and he's a professor of behavioral psychology, and so in his world. Apparently, the main concern is that educators are potentially being, you know, stripped of their ability to teach,
right? If
they violate certain rules and whatnot. And it's like, you know, being like disbarred or whatever, you know, whatever the doctor equivalent of that is.
It's just what even is the world? What like think about our grandparents or our great grandparents. Like, what would they think of what's going on right now? In the world,
you know, they probably our grandparents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like our
they're here. We could ask them.
I'm talking about like, well, I'm thinking of my grandpa on my dad's side.
Right.
What would he say? Because he was a lifelong Democrat.
I don't know.
What would he say?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that whatever the Democrats are now are not what your grandpa's, you know.
Right. Oh no, yeah. I mean, he's like
so.
good old like union labor.
Right. So it's just
Democrat.
that what the Democrats are at this point, and what the left has become at this point is no longer anything like what it used to be. I mean, it's a totally different thing now. So people who are like lifelong Democrats or family Democrats, you know, just a Democrat people, right?
Right.
The Democrats don't represent that anymore. like what the reasons that they are, you know, Democrats. Mm-hmm. It doesn't represent that anymore. And I don't know. And then there's the issue, you know, like we're talking with a Canadian fellow here, and I don't know what they're. I'm sure that they have equivalent, party divisions and stuff that would make, that would have the same kind of, weird circumstances and dichotomies that have happened here in the U.S. Because I mean, like the leftist, movement in general, worldwide, is going this weird, like esoteric, identity politics way. Yeah. And so I'm sure everybody's feeling it, where like the party that used to represent one thing is now about all this, identity politics, social justice stuff, and it's like, what is what is happening in the world? I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's.
So it's like,
I think one major thing that contributes to it, I mean, saying I think that one thing that contributes to it is ridiculous. The main thing that contributes to this just outrageous, mentality these days is social media, because things are so readily available. Like, ideas are spread around like a virus. Mm-hmm. Even good ideas, bad ideas, whatever. It's like a virus. And
well, the free flow of information is as glorious and beautiful and magical and is also super dangerous. Yeah. Like it's both. And like as information has become more free flowing and ideas get from one side of the world to the other at the speed of light, there's a lot of danger of bad ideas taking root, and because everybody's ideas can be heard by everyone, and that's like not a problem, like, at all. Like, I'm 100% in favor of it, but it does put us in this weird situation that we're in now, where there's some really whack ideas that are taking root in a big way. And I don't know, what the solution is really, because something's got to give at some point. Yeah. Well, it's just because it's madness, and like the thing is, I'm not a bigoted, transphobe, whatever, right, or anything like that. I just don't buy the identity politics situation as it is now, and I'm open to discussing certain things. Right. I'm open to discussing certain things, but that's not what's happening here. A discussion is not happening. Right. It's already been determined. Right. And now it's a matter of putting these ideas that have already been determined, and no discussion will be happening about them. Right. It's about putting them into law and putting legal force behind them, and that I am not okay with. I'm not into that.
Well, the thing is, like, it should be something that's up for debate. It should be something that, like, you have an idea, great, let's talk about it. You have an idea that's against the norm or the social, like, understanding of, right, then yes, let's talk about it, let's debate it. But good God, we went from, trying to legalize gay marriage back in, the 90s to just going off the freaking deep end. Yeah. Like, sure, you know what? Get married. I'm cool with it. Like, whatever, man. I've got one of my previous tenants at one of my houses, like a 45-year-old gay couple. They were totally cool, and I was happy for them when they got married. Yeah. Not my thing, but happy for. Like,
well, I mean, you're not gonna get gay married, right? It's just it's not for you, but.
But if they had come to me and say, "Hey, we're both women now. You have to call us women," like, I mean, I might do it out of like courtesy.
Well, see, that's the thing.
But to be forced to do it is a different.
Right, because here's the thing about it. It's like, well, okay, so the argument is that if you're not saying their preferred pronoun, then you're disrespecting them, right? Yeah. But here's the thing: respect is not implicit in any right, interaction between any people. Respect is not something that is like owed. It's something that's earned. And so if you respect somebody as a person enough to, for their benefit, to ease their whatever their psychosis is that causes them to feel this way, to do that for them and address them in the way that they want to be addressed to make them feel better about themselves, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's an issue of, you already have determined that you are going to the social transaction that is occurring there is one where you respect the person enough to say, hey, I'm going to do this for you, even though I don't necessarily see it your way or agree with you about this, whatever. But any random person that you meet throughout your daily life, you have there's no obligation for you to offer that level of respect to them, So, like, you can offer that respect if you feel so inclined, but, if not, then why would it be expected? That's the thing. It's like, there's no reason for it to be expected that you're going to offer somebody, that level of respect just implicitly.
Well, see, like, nobody's even given like a strong enough case for me as to why I should have to call you what you want to be called. Like, you can call me a dick bag, and you can be like, you're a dick bag, and that's just what you are. And I'll be like, well, man, I don't really share your views there, but if you want to call me a dick bag, like, that's your prerogative. So you can't, just because it like personally insults you, you can't illegalize something that just insults
because
you.
that's just that's just speech, that's expression of that's just your expression of your perception of what the world around you is, and maybe you are being a dick, but I mean, you're allowed.
I mean, that's okay. Let's take it to like the other extreme, like a boy, let's say like a 17-year-old boy, and a bunch of well, I mean, the term pussy is, is a bunch of his anti-friends are calling him, some female pronoun, just like to like, you're a sissy, you're a girl, you're a, whatever. And should it like be illegal? Should they be taken like to court, to prison, for calling a boy who identifies as a boy a girl?
No, I mean, because that's not hate. Because cisgendered, it doesn't apply to cisgendered people. Yeah. Because that's the social norm, and so because they don't have the deficit of privilege.
That's okay.
Well, but I mean,
that's never going to.
That's the logic. That's the logic that is built on. Like, there's a deficit of privilege in people who are not part of the social norm, and therefore those people are like inherently afforded more like special treatment and are owed more by society because they are not part of the social norm. But the thing is, like,
well, racism is okay as long as it's directed toward white.
Right, because white people have a huge deficit, socially, or like white people have a huge advantage socially, is the idea, and therefore everybody else who is not white has a deficit, and therefore they are allowed. Yeah. Because white people,
and it so is too. I mean, you just look at stand-up comedy, which a lot of it's really funny. I get down with some white bashing in stand-up comedy. It's hilarious. That being said, a white guy couldn't stand up and be like, "Black people, am I right?"
Well, I wouldn't say that necessarily. I've seen some pretty choice, comedy shows that have not been. That have not shied away from that sort of thing, even in recent times, and I was kind of surprised. I actually was watching. I went over to Mom's, and she put on I guess relatively new Ricky Gervais stand-up routine, and man, that dude did not hold back on anything that he had to say, and I was kind of surprised. But then I started thinking, well, I don't listen to comedians very much, and I know that. Comedy, like stand-up comedians, get away with a lot more than like anyone else could, because it's like inherent to their show. And so, to a certain degree, I think they can still get away with a lot more than anyone else in any other profession could. But still, they are under more scrutiny. I mean, what it is that people get onto them and get outraged about them, but they don't care because they're stand-up comedians. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And you know what? The people who go see their comedy shows don't care either.
Right.
So they can just keep doing what they do, and there's no ramifications. Because we all understand that comedians, the point of comedians is to put you in an uncomfortable situation where you're being faced with uncomfortable things that make you laugh because it's uncomfortable and it can't be said anywhere else.
No. Ricky Gervais is hilarious.
He is.
And that reminds me of an SNL. He hosted SNL one time, I think, and it was they did the Asian Office.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorites. It's the Japanese Office. That's my favorite thing. I've played it before just because it's so funny. They did a great job there.
And the last thing he says at the end is, "It's funny because it's racist."
Yeah. Yep. It's one of my favorite things. I love the Japanese Office.
Yep.
And everybody speaks Japanese. It's great. They did a good job.
Yeah.
I was convinced.
No, it's real. It's a real thing. Ricky Gervais is over there. He's a funny dude. Have you watched all the British Office?
No.
No.
I've never even watched The Office.
I know you haven't watched the American Office, but we're talking about Ricky Gervais. Gervais or Gervais? What is it?
I don't know. I've always heard it said Ricky Gervais.
Gervais, okay.
What about him? I mean, Mom put on that comedy special the other day. That's the only thing I know about him, really, except for the Japanese Office.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious.
Now, the British Office is pretty good, but the problem with that dude is he is really funny, but almost incomprehensible. Like, the way he speaks is just so, I don't know, it's not Cockney, but it's just really, really, really bad.
I mean, I could understand him in the comedy special, so I don't know.
Maybe it's his character in The Office.
Could be.
He mumbles, like, to the point where, his accent plus the mumbling, you can barely understand anything he says.
Well, if you were a British guy, you'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
Is that what weapon are you using right now?
Rolling shield.
What's that? Who'd you get that from?
Armored Armadillo.
Okay. It looks like water.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking
it's a shield that you're throwing at people.
Okay. I was thinking water is the weakness of the water boss.
Yeah. No.
It's like a big old water spray. Water. Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's.
I guess that makes sense. It's
an elemental cycle, Caleb. Ice, or fire beats ice. Ice beats electricity. Electricity beats shield. Shield beats water.
Yep. Now that you mention it, I do recall that from chemistry class.
Yeah. And water, which happens to be homing torpedoes, actually beats boomerang.
Sweet.
I mean, it's pretty obvious why a homing torpedo beats boomerang, because the homing torpedo goes to its target, and boomerang just goes wherever the fuck it wants to go.
It always comes back though.
Right.
But it goes. But in the meantime,
yeah,
it's like peace. Yeah, man. I tell you what, I've had this big plan in my head about playing all the RPGs ever. I just want to talk about this real quick. Yeah, I've been planning on playing all the RPGs. But man, I just don't have the time.
I don't think the average human lifespan is long enough to play all the RPGs.
Yeah, I fired up when I first started working at company that I work at now, I thought, hey, I'm gonna have tons of free time, and in fact, I did have tons of free time at first.
Yeah.
But the past 4 months,
yeah,
I haven't had any free time at all. And so, but initially, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna play some RPGs. Mm-hmm. I got time. It's good. So I did actually. I did play some RPGs,
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna play both. I was gonna play all 3 of the Grandia games. That was the big plan. And man, I played Grandia. I played that one. It was great. I loved it. It just didn't have a story of any kind whatsoever. Yeah. There was just nothing to keep you coming back to it, except for that the combat was good. Well, Grandia 2 is much more promising, but I fired it up today and I was like, nope, yeah. I'm done with it. I'm gonna start over. Is what I decided.
Yeah.
Because I was playing it on the PS2, and man, that game is a nightmare to play on the PS2.
Yeah.
It chugs like crazy constantly. It has serious performance issues on the PS2. Like, it just doesn't work for the most part. And that's because it's a port from the Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
And they did a terrible job porting it. The PS2 cannot deal. So I'm definitely going to be playing the Dreamcast version if I do actually play it again. But it's a real bummer because I put 30 hours into it, and I just have decided I'm not going to stick with it on the PS2. I can't deal with how horribly it plays. Like, when you're walking around on a map, it's like a slideshow.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not acceptable.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I had to say about that.
I think I might just be done with RPGs.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, like,
what's the issue? I mean, it's not like that you don't have enough time to play them.
I just don't want it anymore, I guess.
Really?
I don't know. No, I'm not saying like for sure never again, but it's just been a long time since I've wanted to sit down and play like a proper RPG. Not, Kingdom Hearts is different. I guess it is an RPG.
You've always got time for Kingdom Hearts.
Right. I mean, well, I don't play it
Kingdom Hearts 1 in particular.
No. But
the best one in the series.
Yeah.
It was most pure.
I think that's the worst game ever made, actually.
It was the purest concept.
Not the worst Kingdom Hearts game. It's the worst game.
I mean, I think an argument can be made that it's the worst game. It's pretty bad.
But anyway, like, okay, so here's the thing. I kind of just... Maybe I'm just in a phase of my life where I just want more, like, action.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Kingdom Hearts is fun. I'm excited to play Nier Automata.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Nier a tomato.
But, right. Did you ever watch that speed run, by the way? With the guy that plays it one-handed?
No, I didn't.
It's pretty cool.
I don't have time to watch speedruns, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I'm too busy playing RPGs.
So anyway,
wait, no, I don't have time to watch RPGs.
That's the reason I'm more into that than I am like getting into like Final Fantasy 15. So I
but
guess
Final Fantasy 15 is that. It's just not as good. It's a clunky version of that.
Oh, so it's
Final Fantasy 15 is basically clunky Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The way that you've explained the battle system to me, I don't really get it.
Yeah, I don't really get it either. Hey, can you toss me another beer?
Those ones are in the freezer. I bet they're good.
Probably not. They're probably not good. Well, they've only been in there for 43 minutes, Jeremy. Well, they've been in there longer than that.
But
Jeremy,
before I did.
But here's the thing, though. They always feel good, and then you open it, and it's not ready.
I'll give you something else. What do you want?
Okay, crack this open. We'll see what happens.
I mean, you don't want to waste $4 worth of beer. Like,
if it's not ready, I'll just put it back in the fridge.
It's not feeling too cold now.
No, it's not. Put it back in the freezer.
In the freezer for that long? It's been over an hour.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's a very good freezer. It's a mini fridge.
Right, but the freezer should freeze things.
Okay, toss me. You
got a who garden down there?
Toss me Shiner Box, actually.
Okay,
I'll take a Shiner Box.
Me too. Oh.
And that'll do it for the Shiner Box, I guess, won't it?
Yep, that'll be the last one.
Oh, did we overload the...
Yeah.
That may be the limit of how many bottle caps it can hold.
Is this a trash bag?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I like the old Shiner Bot.
Yeah, it's not bad. That would be a beer I could stand having a few more available at any given time.
I don't know that I've ever seen it in a 12-pack, though. No, I could be wrong. No.
I think I have seen it in a 12-pack.
I think I have seen it in a 12-pack. It's It's more expensive than Amber vodka.
Ah. Every drop of Shiner is brewed in Shiner.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive. Wow, not a single drop gets brewed somewhere else. How do they even manage it? What are the odds that every drop is brewed
gets
there?
brewed in that brewery?
Yeah. No way. There's mathematically it's impossible. So all we got left is Web Spider.
Yeah. So, for Mega Man games, do you just like, you kind of classify stages as like what stages for Mega Man X4 they look like?
Yeah, because it's the only one I actually played at any length as a like human.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, back before I was a human, I only played X, on DOS, as we all know, but really not a ton, and I definitely was not good at it. So
yeah.
I wouldn't really count that as experience for the most part, but like X4 is the only one that I've legitimately like played as an adult and beaten,
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, in my mind, everything is just the X4 equivalent in this game.
Right.
And then every now and then I have these fever dreams about MIDI soundtrack Mega Man X, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good time. I remember that guy. I remember fighting that guy.
Yeah,
I just fought as a child with the little Microsoft Sidewinder controller that we had.
It's not working for me.
What,
the one-handed getting in the capsule one-handed.
So one-handed speed run's not really going to be your thing?
No. Let's see. I mean, I could probably learn. I could if I've lost the use of my left hand.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here. Oops. Oh, yeah. Start button's not supposed to happen. Let's see. No, I don't.
It would take some time, I imagine.
It would take a little practice.
You might have to like get the controller positioned on like on a flat surface to where it doesn't move around on you, and then maybe you could get the technique down.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm just saying, Mega Man X4 is like pretty much the only Mega Man that matters to me.
Yeah.
And I haven't even played that one in years and years, for real,
Right.
Because I beat it once, and I was like, okay, I did it. I beat Mega Man X4. Because clearly I consume Mega Man differently than you do. Like, to me, it's like, that's something that I achieved, and now I am done.
Right. Yeah.
Finally beat Sigma, and I was like, yes, I did it. I never have to play this game again.
No, I gotta play it every day. And I don't mean that. That's not true. But
I get what you're saying though. X4 is your favorite, as we all know.
X4? X4 is good.
It's your favorite, just as it is my favorite. We both had the same childhood where we had X4 on the Sega Saturn.
Yeah,
what wealthy people we could be if we still had that disc.
Oh, is it worth money?
Yeah, there's like X4 is like worth $150.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and I have no idea what happened to the disc. I mean, like nothing in particular happened to it. We just don't have it anymore.
It would have had to have been in the
Virtual-On was in the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, Virtual-On is
look, we don't have Daytona USA or Mega Man X4 anymore.
We had Daytona USA.
Yes, we did.
Oh.
Those were the 3 games we had for the Saturn. We had Daytona USA, Virtual-On, and Mega Man X4. Did we have another game? Did we have anything else on the Saturn? I think it was those 3. I think that was it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't have anything else.
Pretty sad lineup on the Saturn.
Daytona.
Let's go away.
Is that what it
Let's
says?
go
Let's go
away.
away.
Yeah.
Daytona.
I listened to the song the other day. I just like thought of it, and I was like, I need to listen to this soundtrack. So I listened to like.
That says like we ready.
No. It said yeah something.
Is
like
that what it says?
It says hey. It says hey.
Oh, is that what it? I thought it says we ready or something.
I don't know. It seems like to me it sounds like hey.
Yeah,
hey.
I mean, it was pretty bad vocals on this song.
It's amazing. You know what I think it is? I don't think it's real. I think it's synthesized vocals by the sound chip in the Saturn.
Yeah,
because it was an arcade game, and in the arcade games they didn't have a lot of storage for sound, so almost everything was always synthesized.
Oh, crap.
In the sound processor, you know. So I think that's just like samples.
Right.
They were just like some really compressed samples that they applied the synthesizer, you know, the actual built-in audio chip in the machine to kind of like pitch it up and down to make different sounds. Mm-hmm. Because it does not sound human.
No.
But I love it though. It's great. Probably the best music ever made. I
heard that song at least 1,000 times. Because when I worked at the movie theater, they had a
Daytona USA. Sweet.
And it played constantly.
Awesome. What a great backdrop for. You know what I had to listen to constantly because it was the only thing we had that was even remotely arcadey at the theater. We had a stacker machine, and I heard stack up the blocks as high as you can. I played that stacker machine. I won an iPod Mini or an iPod Nano out of there one time. That was pretty cool. Sold it on eBay.
The most worthless iPod.
Hey, I sold it on eBay for like $80. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good profit margin. I don't think so. I don't think they make iPods.
I mean, everybody has one in their pocket now.
Yeah.
It's kind of pointless.
No, I think that's over.
iPod Touch was a thing for a while. It was like basically an iPhone.
It was. It was just an iPhone that didn't have the phone in it. Yeah. At which point you're just like, well, why?
Right.
For kids, I guess.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.
And it makes sense in that context. In fact...
Or if you're an Android guy and you just want an iPod.
Well, I guess that's true. that is an option. But I feel like that it's kind of sad that MP3 players have gone away because I kind of liked having an MP3 player back whenever I had my Zune. Mm-hmm. Had my whole music collection all on it.
Can't you put...
The thing is,
can you put MP3s on your phone?
Yeah, I mean, I can. And the thing is, like, now SD cards are bigger than any of those iPods ever were.
Right.
So it's like... But I kind of miss the, like, dedicated nature of it.
Right.
This is the thing that I take with me if I want to listen to music.
How do you put MP3s on an Android phone?
You just plug it into a computer and slap them on there. There's like a folder in your Android, like when you plug it in, there's a folder. Yeah, just being like your, you can go into like the Google Play app or whatever the built-in music app is for your phone.
Okay.
Because Samsung probably has their own music player that's built into there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just gonna be like a music folder in the phone. When you plug it into a computer, you just slap your music in there, and it's in there.
I'd have to get some MP3s before I would be able to use that.
Man, I got a massive MP3 collection.
I've got a massive CD collection. That I would have to rip.
Oh well, mine aren't MP3s though. Mine are FLAC files. I have FLAC. My collection is all FLAC.
Is that? What I mean, is it compatible with?
Yeah, it is. It's just FLAC is a lossless version. It's a lossless codec. It doesn't have any compression. It's an uncompressed format.
Right.
Which consumes a lot of space because it's basically just CDs. FLAC is pretty cool though. It's a little bit more efficient than it is compressed. Okay, it is compressed. That's not true. But it's not compressed in a lossy fashion.
Okay.
It's compressed in a way that it can be decompressed and be perfectly reconstructed as the original, information that was on the disc.
Right.
So, it's like a zip file.
Yeah.
It doesn't compress it very much. It only cuts the file down like by half.
Is a CD completely uncompressed audio?
Well, I mean, okay, in a sense, a CD is compressed too because
that's what I thought.
It's compressed in the sense that it's taken from the analog domain and put into the digital domain in some at some level of precision. But it is an exceptionally high level of precision that at which point you really can't tell the difference between it and analog sources. Right.
So you think people who are all about vinyl are just totally bogus? They're full of it.
No, I don't think they're bogus. It's just that vinyl. Here's the deal with vinyl. Vinyl has less dynamic range than CDs, so a well-mastered CD will outperform it. Will outperform vinyl in terms of like overall reconstruction of a sound.
Right.
But CDs, there's a lot of like tangible aesthetic things that come with vinyl.
Yeah.
That makes it understandable why people go so crazy about it, because like the cracks and the pops and the hiss and the feeling of like taking the disc out and lifting and dropping the tone arm,
right?
All that stuff is really it's part of an overall experience that people really enjoy. What is happening right now? What are you doing right now?
You don't know?
No, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm getting the Hadouken.
And that involves dying 1,000 times?
Yes.
Why?
You have to go back to that exact same spot of the stage 5 times, I think. And then on the 5th time, it will be there.
Wow, what a fucking bullshit thing.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Wow. Yeah, that capsule wasn't there.
Yeah.
And now it is.
And now it is.
So how do you justify this, Dr. Light?
I mean, it's an Easter egg. It's hidden.
No. I want Dr. Light to justify this.
Right?
I want you to justify how that capsule that you placed there was not there until the 5th time.
I've always liked that X is standing in the dialogue box during this.
I've always liked that he's wearing Ryu's outfit from Street Fighter.
He definitely is.
Seems appropriate.
And I didn't realize until just now it's also open in the front, so his fat gut and man boobs are hanging out too, which is pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. So now I have the Hadouken, which is a one-hit kill.
Right. Sweet.
For everything. But you'd have to do the quarter circle forward and Y to do it, and you have to have full health. So if you get hit even once, you can.
I think I've seen you swift plod X before, and with the Hadouken.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm good with the Shoryuken and X too, but I'm terrible with the Hadouken.
Right.
Because it's a straight shot.
Yeah.
You know, the Shoryuken, you've got a huge curve of.
You can catch a boss in the air or whatever.
But with the Hadouken, you've got to be standing on the ground, and the boss also has to be standing on the ground.
Right. So it's limited functionality.
Like right now, I can't use it.
Right.
Oh, I don't know why I'm wasting my time killing these guys. I'm gonna get my health down anyway.
Why?
Because there's a... Oh, fuck. There's a scripted battle with Violator that you can't win. So, like, either you just watch him punch you down to low health,
right,
or you just do it throughout the stage.
So the speedrunning strat is to get your health as low as possible.
This is the speedrunning strat. Just get hit by everything.
Right.
Except for right here, because these guys will knock you off the platforms into the pit.
Right, and that will not be very conducive to a speedrun.
Right. And that is the second time I've tried to dash jump off that same platform and did a regular derpy derp jump.
Well, bro, you're using the best Super Nintendo controller I have, so
it's me just not being able to dash jump.
I'm starting to think that maybe you're just using the controllers as an excuse, bro. Because I've given you the best. I've rolled out the cream of the crop here.
No, I'm just horribly under practiced at X nowadays, or X and X2. Because I don't really play
video games anymore.
I don't really play video games that much anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of sad.
Look at that! I did it again. It must be that platform just really doesn't like me.
Maybe. Could be that there's a little software code.
No, I'm doing it like every time. Weird.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Okay.
Because I don't have a better controller than that to give you.
Now there's a fun glitch here. I'm gonna try to do it, but I'm not very good at it, so it probably won't work. I can do part of the glitch, but I can't do all of the glitch usually.
What is the glitch?
Okay, so when you climb up this ladder, Vile flies down and talks to you, and then Zero like jumps in front of you, and he's like, "No, I'll take care of him," and then they run off into that door. But if you get on the ladder here, let's see if I can do this, and climb up the wall, see, like this, that would have triggered the cutscene if I had been standing on the ground.
Right.
But so this part's the easy part. So I just skipped the cutscene.
Right.
And now the cutscene starts because you're on the ground. Hear it. So we're in the cutscene, but also like the dialogue box is there.
Right.
And then if you do it a certain see, check it out. I'm in the battle in the cutscene.
Nice. So what does that accomplish for you? Save some time.
Now Val's face is
just there. That just saves you some. Does that just save you some time?
Yeah, and I actually just soft locked the game.
Oh, how?
Apparently I did it wrong. Whoops. Well, we're soft locked now.
So
we look up a Sigma stage passcode online.
Dude, this is original hardware. You can't do bullshit.
This is original hardware bullshit. I just did the glitch wrong.
No, I'm just saying you can't do bullshit and just load a state. Load a save state.
That's what I'm saying. We just find a code online.
I know. I'm just saying. Yeah. Be more careful next time. We're playing on a real Super Nintendo. You can't just.
Well, you don't think that was worth seeing? You don't think that cool glitch was worth seeing?
But what happened that caused it to soft lock?
I think if the dialogue box is not completely gone before you're done fighting him, it doesn't know what to do. So, like, what I should have done was make sure that all the dialogue was scrolled through before Zero breaks out of his little cage.
Okay.
Anyway,
well, I'm going to go ahead and just reset us.
Yeah, go for it. I won't do the full glitch this time.
Okay.
I'll do the first part because it's fun. But I've never actually achieved that. I've never actually gotten the dialogue box while you're fighting Vile.
Okay.
That's the second.
Well, what's usually the problem with that? How does that not work out for you?
Did you see when I was walking, I did a little dash and then I shot a rolling shield on the ground? You have to do that at the exact right timing or it doesn't work.
Oh, okay. What normally happens?
Normally the cutscene plays out normal. Like, you know how the battle started immediately but the cutscene was still going? The cutscene just plays out normally. Because there's two cutscenes. You skip the first one by going around the wall.
Okay.
And then the second one is in the room where you fight him. So if you don't do the glitch right in that part, the cutscene, the second cutscene just plays out normally, and then you fight.
Right. Okay.
But doing that, for some reason, doing that shield, that little dash in the shield, glitches it again a second time.
Huh. Nice. Now, can you do the dash and the shield and glitch the cutscene if you haven't done the first glitch?
What was that again?
Can you do the dash and the shield and glitch the cutscene if you haven't done the first glitch? Like if you just roll up in there and watch the first cutscene, and then
no, you can't do the second part.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Wonder what the deal is there. Ugh.
Okay, let's see.
CD/MMX, am I right?
Right.
Good times. It's funny, when I was a kid I didn't know what that meant. You know, I just knew that you had to type that. But now I know that meant change directory to MMX, and apparently MMX was like in the root of the hard drive. Like, well, now whenever you install a game or something, it's gonna go in program files, and then there's gonna be a thing for what?
because you reset instead of turn the console off. The password from where we were is still there.
Oh,
pretty handy.
what?
That's awesome.
Super Nintendo, you're capable of doing this?
So I just wasted a whole bunch of time by
I had no
looking
idea.
looking up a password when I didn't need to.
I had no idea that Super Nintendo was capable of such
But
cool feats.
I don't have the Hadouken though.
What, really?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I bet there's not a password that includes the Hadouken.
Oh, you want to go get it?
Yeah, I'll go get it after this.
Well, that sucks. It's kind of a dick move, actually, that they didn't put that in as a password, because, I mean, if you get it...
They didn't want you to be able to cheat your way into it, man.
But if you get it, though...
They want you to do the legwork.
But if you get it, and then you need to load a password because you soft lock the game doing a glitch, then...
Right.
You know, it's kind of a dick move, that there's no way to get it.
Yeah.
Via password.
It is kind of a dick move. But...
Wow. Way to go, Capcom.
Because what they were trying to avoid is, like, the whole schoolyard, like, I got this thing, here's the password for it, and then
whoa, I can just Hadouken my way through the one stage, the Sigma stage that's left. Wow, so cool, I skipped the whole game.
Right.
I feel so accomplished. And if only you could, like, go flying over, just, like, go flying and not hit find some way to not hit the floor.
Right.
At all. And get up to the other door.
Yeah.
And then not hit the floor here either. And soft lock the game.
So the cutscene playing out normally.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that is a speedrunning strat because you're skipping 2 cutscenes, in essence,
Right.
And this is what happens if you get here and you don't have your health low enough.
Right. You just gotta sit through in your stupid iframes. Like, waste even more time.
Yep.
It's like, no, I don't need iframes right now. Right. I'm not gonna win this fight. It's not how this works. No, Zero, don't do it. Don't do it, Zero. No.
There was no other way, man.
Zero's gone forever.
There was no... Yeah, right. Zero actually dies twice in this series.
Oh, no. Isn't Zero, like, legit dead in this one?
Yeah.
But then how do they bullshit him back to life?
You find his parts and put him back together. That's what Mega Man X2 is all about.
How'd his parts get lost? I mean, he was right here.
Right. Well, they scattered him around. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. It doesn't explain that, Caleb. That's not something you need to know.
X, you could have gathered his parts right now and then, like, just put them in a bin over there and then come back for them once you got done saving the world or whatever. Or whatever bullshit you're doing.
I love that sequence. Did you see that?
Yeah, you're just bouncing around.
These springs are perfectly spaced apart to go all the way across.
Mm-hmm. I saw it the first time.
Oh, I know. It's so much fun. Okay. So I'm not totally crazy, Caleb. Sometimes the slide button just doesn't work. I was pushing only the slide. I wasn't trying to even do something like special. I was just pushing the slide button and it didn't work.
Jeremy, that's my best controller.
Yeah.
It's my best controller, confirmed by you.
Yeah.
At a previous time.
It's a great controller. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying sometimes the slide button doesn't work.
I don't believe you, Jeremy. I just don't think. I don't believe you. I think you're tapping it. You're not tapping hard enough. You're like barely bumping.
I always play the game. I tap.
Well, Jeremy, you gotta actually press the button. Sure, it may not work sometimes if you don't actually put enough force on it.
Well, I've been playing the game long enough to know that I can generally tap the button and it doesn't.
Well, maybe on a PlayStation 3 controller.
Dude, I've played most of my life on a SNES controller, and for maybe a year on the Mega Man X collection.
Maybe a year. There's no way that's true.
How is that not true?
Because you were playing a Mega Man X collection like years ago.
Like 2 years ago? And stopped
every
like
time I go over to your house, you're playing Mega Man X.
You've only between the time that you moved here, and that's an awesome.
Look, I only played it on MS-DOS with a keyboard, and I know that you really gotta smack those keys, man.
Did you play on a keyboard?
No, we had that crappy little controller.
Shitty controller.
I think it was like an Interact brand controller or something that plugged into the printer port. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's
computers. What a weird time.
Awesome.
Like that, the printer port was used. Like the parallel printer port was used for plugging in controllers. Is insanity. Why? How did that make sense?
It was a real good time for video games.
Yeah. How did that even make sense? Like when they were designing these controllers, like when somebody was like, "Hey man, we need to have a way to plug in a controller." They're like, "Well, why don't you just use the printer port?"
Because that's logical.
Hey, it's Web Spider.
Yeah, it is.
What's Web Spider called in this game?
Bow Spider.
It's like the same exact boss fight, only just like more not the same. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
But it is basically the same boss fight. It's just not... In Web Spider's fight is not as rigid as this.
Right. Yeah, this is a pain in the ass. He's always been one of my least favorite enemies.
Yeah, I find him to be a pain in the ass. Especially the little spiders.
His hitbox is only open for...
0.01 seconds.
Like half a second, really.
Yeah. Well, hey bro, do you want to try a different controller? I have another Super Nintendo controller that should be pretty good.
Maybe when we get to X2.
Maybe. Well, I know the membrane in this controller is a little stiffer, which I like. Yeah. I like it compared to the.
See that? Like I'm doing my just my standard dash jumps, and look, I'm doing the dash jump button mash right now. So sometimes I'm doing it, and sometimes I'm not. It's just.
I don't know, man. That's a quality controller right there that you're hating on right now. You're killing me. Deep down. It hurts. That was a controller that the first time I held it, I was like, oh god, this is it.
Yeah.
This is Super Nintendo controller, taken to the logical conclusion of that concept. Let's see here. I think this one's possibly... No, this one's shit. Bullshit. Here's probably pretty good though. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one.
We can swap it out.
This is my old good Super Nintendo controller. Before I got that one.
Yeah. This
was my previous gold standard.
Okay, any boss that has, you know, a tiny hitbox that's only open for half a second sucks. But any boss that shoots out little baby stuff also sucks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is better for the dash jumps anyway. Check that out.
Oop.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like a new man. Remember how much trouble I had the other day doing the thing on Mega Man X2 with that controller?
I don't know. No, not really. What were you trying to do?
The wheel gator thing?
Oh yeah, the wheel alligates.
Yeah.
So grabby.
Yeah.
Cheat.
Like
cheat.
I have trouble with that from time to time, but not that much trouble. Just being able to get off the wall.
I have to pull this thing open and make sure that everything's clean in there. Probably clean it up.
Yeah, I mean it could just be because it's stiffer and I'm not used to pressing that button that hard.
I just know the D-pad in this one is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, the D-pad's
phenomenal.
Great. This controller feels good too, though.
That was my previous best Super Nintendo controller. I've always been quite partial to that one.
Right. I'm just playing around here with the dash jumps.
It was one that I got in a lot of broken Super Nintendos. My first round of broken Super Nintendos that I bought. Oh no. Well, yeah. That was my first round of broken Super Nintendos.
Yeah.
I bought those in Indiana. It was old school. Back before I knew how to fix them. So
why did you buy a bunch of broken ones then?
Because I wanted to learn how to fix them.
Oh, okay.
And I did, in fact, get 2 working Super Nintendos out of the deal.
Nice.
But the lot was of 4, Super Nintendos, and I was able to piece together 2 working ones. But in hindsight, I know I could have gotten more working ones out of the deal, but I ended up throwing away the boards and parts and stuff whenever I moved down here because it was just more junk to take with me. And I was thinking, you know, I should probably. I'm never gonna do anything with these I'm never gonna need Super Nintendo parts. I thought to myself. And then I fast forward to now where I have literally hundreds of Super Nintendos laying around, and I need parts.
Yep. Come on, Bo.
Problem is, Super Nintendos all die the same way. They all die the same way. You know, every time.
This sucks.
Yeah,
this really sucks.
You know what kills Super Nintendos, Jeremy?
What?
The CPU goes bad in them.
Yeah?
Every one of them. Every Super Nintendo is eventually going to die.
This R button is atrocious.
What's wrong with it?
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, now it's cycling. Oh, maybe it was just stiff. Maybe it just needed some loosening up. Now it's working fine. Oh, there we go. Look. Weird.
Yeah, well, you know what, Jeremy, you can't have it all, man.
No, I'm. Oh, okay. Like sometimes it works fine, and sometimes it's not doing anything at all. Weird.
Probably
the rest of the controller's good though.
Probably needs good cleaning. I don't know. I haven't been inside of those in a while. I pretty much got all my Super Nintendo stuff sorted out, you know, 5 years ago. Yeah. And then everything else I've done with them has been, you know, fixing up and selling other Super Nintendos. Although I haven't done very much selling, just mostly just fixing up.
Right.
So,
yeah, you just got a bunch of working Super Nintendos laying around now.
Hey man, I got plenty of backups, and just in case, you know, just in case one of them dies. Although this one right here that we're playing on right now is absolutely my best example. It's a really, really, really good Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's a 1-chip. Anybody who knows what that means know that, man, I'm living the high life with my 1-chip Super Nintendo. It's like the latest revision before the Super Nintendo Mini, the Junior Super Nintendo came out. And it has the best video output of all Super Nintendos.
Oh yeah?
Very sharp. Older Super Nintendos have kind of a blur to the output, even in RGB.
Oh yeah.
But the 1-chip Super Nintendos have super razor sharp output, which looks fantastic. I mean, you're looking at it right now. Looks pretty sharp, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It almost looks like we're playing on an emulator, but we're not. I promise, we're not playing on an emulator.
I'm farming right now.
Yes, I figured.
Farming for sub-tank and now for lives. This guy has like a 50% drop rate for lives.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That seems a little bit excessive.
Yeah.
It's almost like they don't believe in you.
Well, I say that. I got 4 in a row, and now I've got 4 not in a row, so...
It sounds like they don't want you to have a bunch of lives.
That's the only thing he drops, too. It's either nothing or a life. Let's see, is that enough? I'm gonna have to die 5 times in a row here, so... So we're doing a Mega Man X long play.
Right.
And,
this is part 1.
And we're probably, yeah, right. And we're probably not gonna get to X2 tonight.
Aw, bummer.
I mean, there is.
I was really excited to hear.
Well, we can start it. Like we can turn it on if you want. It really does have a fun startup.
I gotta tell you though, man, X3's startup song is sick. Dude, it's sick. No, not that. No, I'm talking about the song during the opening scene.
Yes,
it Dude, it's freaking sick.
Yeah.
I just put it on loop. I just let it play for a little while earlier while I was doing some work in here. And I was just like, this is awesome.
Yep.
This is a really ominous soundtrack.
Yep.
It starts out so peaceful sounding. It's all... I gotta say, though, I feel like in reading the plot, stuff there, that when they did the localization, I really feel like they dropped the ball whenever they decided to call it Doppeltown. Like, I'm thinking that town is probably not... I mean, I understand the Doppel part, because, it's Dr. Doppler.
Doppler City would
but
be
Doppler,
better.
like Doppler City or Doppler Metropolis or something,
Doppelopoulos.
Doppolis.
Doppolis.
Just Doppolis. Keep it simple, man. But, like... Yeah, okay, so that would be fine, but Doppeltown sounds so stupid.
Yeah, that is good.
Actually, I'm like looking at this place. I'm like, I wouldn't really describe this as a town.
It has been a long time since I've actually read the story for Mega Man X3, so I don't really remember what the story is.
Yeah, and it was in that moment when I was reading that and thinking, man, they really dropped the ball here.
Yeah.
I realized, wow. At this point in time, they really did not give a fuck about the North American market.
Right.
Like, they just did not care.
Well,
like,
maybe,
Capcom was just
honestly,
like, you know what?
Maybe they thought Doppeltown was cool.
Well, no. Because, I mean, the localization was obviously handled by, an American company. You don't think in Japanese it's Doppuru Town.
Doppuru Town.
Yeah, probably not. But when the localization was done, obviously, like, a Western company handled it.
Yeah.
But, like, it just really goes to show how much they...
Oh, my God. I didn't even do that. I just jumped off.
So, what happens now?
Oh, I just have to start the stage over instead of dying.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, this next time I go, it'll probably be there.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm just saying, like, they just tossed these games over to some random company to be like, hey, just translate this, please, so that we can release this. And it's like, no real care went into this at all.
Hence Guns N' Roses' name.
Well, yeah. And, we were talking about that the other day, and I feel like that, I was kind of like, well, surely, like, Capcom's American branch, like, cared a little bit. But I guess at this point in time, no.
I
guess they didn't.
Their names in Japanese are just regular old Mega Man X game names.
Yeah.
Like, she changed them purposefully from what they should have been to this weird crap. Or not weird crap, it's actually pretty funny. But like, Axel the Red is a Rose guy. And so obviously Rose, that probably is where it originally came from. She's like, oh, Rose, oh, Axl Rose, oh, and then
this is a Guns N' Roses game,
right? So she named him Axel the Red, and then but his name in Japanese was Spike Rose Red. So it's not it wasn't a typical Mega Man boss name,
right?
But it was, it wasn't Guns N' Roses.
But, I think that just goes to show that at the time, they just did not care about the Western market.
Right.
They didn't think about it too much whenever they were releasing games.
Right.
But that changed. I mean, obviously they care about it now.
And
they have cared about it for a while.
I do think one thing is better here. And that is that I think Mega Man is a better name than Rockman.
Yeah.
I think Rockman's a cool sounding name, but I think Mega Man makes more sense.
Sure.
Mega Man, he's a Mega Man. He's like Superman.
But there was Roll.
Mega Man.
But there was Rockman and Roll.
But his name was Rock.
Rock.
Still in the story of even in the Western games, his name is Rock.
Yeah, but his
and he dresses up as Mega Man.
His defeating Dr. Wily hero name is Mega Man.
Right. I mean, it makes a lot more sense. It works a lot better. Like that would be like me being a superhero.
Rock is his mild-mannered alter ego.
That would be like me being a superhero, and like by day I'm Jeremy, and by night I'm Jeremy Man.
No, it makes sense, Jeremy. I think I'd be pretty excited about a Jeremy Man game.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't make a lot of sense, actually.
I mean, yeah, when you become a crime-fighting robot. You don't just slap man on the end of your name.
Well, apparently, when you're whatever robot, you do, in fact, just slap man on the end of whatever you are.
True, that's true. Well, actually, yeah. So, I mean, it does make sense by the game's standards, I guess.
Right. So, but Mega Man is a good name, though. It's a good name.
Yeah.
It's really marketable. People are like, "Ooh, Mega Man! That sounds like exciting. Like something I want to play."
Oh my gosh, the swag!
Oh, there's some object limit, man. Just running into a little bit of object limit. It happens, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Super Nintendo. It's a powerful machine,
right?
Capable of amazing feats of lag.
Blast processing.
Didn't you know that Genesis does what Nintendo don't?
Yeah.
Didn't you know that Sega CD does not work? Because I can't get mine working.
So you can't hear.
I really want to, but I can't. No, my Sega CD does not work. I decided to try to troubleshoot it again. The past 2 days I've been working on it off and on. Because it's been sitting in the to-do list for like 6 months to try to figure out what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And again, I had no luck whatsoever on it. Something seriously wrong with it. All I get whenever I have it hooked up and power it on, I get just a white screen. There's nothing. When I got it, it had a blown capacitor on the power input, and I fixed all that stuff. I fixed all the things that were blown up, and it just doesn't do anything though. So something else is not right in there. I can't find it. But I wish. I mean, I've never heard that sound in real life, just only on YouTube.
Oh, really?
But I, because I've never had a working Sega CD. When I got it, it was broken. But I thought, I'm a pretty smart guy. I can probably fix that. But it's kicking my ass so far.
I'm trying real hard not to take damage here. There we go. Damn it!
I don't think I'm gonna be able to fix it either until I get a hold of a working Sega CD to like cross-reference. There you go.
Yeah.
Because like if I can get a working one that I can poke around and see how things are supposed to be with the multimeter and with the oscilloscope and everything, then I can pinpoint maybe where the problem is on mine. But I don't have a working one, and if I do have a working one, then I would have a working one. So not that there's not merit in fixing the one I have. I mean, I certainly do want to fix it.
I am so bad at figuring out where this guy's going to go. That.
Hey, how much game is left?
Not much after I get done with him.
We might have time to fire up Mega Man X2. It's only like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Is it 9?
So it's like 9.
I mean, it'll be like 9:30ish before I get done here, or we get done with this. And I don't know how long Mega Man X2 will take me, but I haven't played it in a while, so I'm not gonna be like awesome at it.
But it's the game. It's your game. It's the game you speedrun professionally.
Right.
Well, if we start it, we could just take a picture of a code and finish it the next week.
We could do that.
And then do X3.
Right.
I mean, I suspect you'll be faster at all the X games than you are with Mega Mega Man?
Yes.
Just
Most
because
most
X
likely.
games are just easier to play because they're better.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna crack this Midas touch open and see how this goes.
Okay.
Feels pretty cold.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna get a little glass to put this into. Would you like to have one of these?
I would. Yeah.
Okay, I'll get you glass as well. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Here's a
Well,
glass.
and see how this goes.
Here's a glass.
This beer that's made from the carcass of a dead king or something.
Yeah. Yep. King Midas. It's made from his remains. Who? King of what? Where is this King Midas from?
I think he's a real guy.
It's cold.
Is it?
It's cold. It's cold.
What do you think?
It's good. It's weird. I remember it being kind of odd. I feel like that my taste buds have been affected by the other beers I've drank.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So it's hard to keep track of exactly what's happening here, but it's a little bit different. For sure. I don't know. You'll have to have a taste of it and see how you feel. Why do the Met Pats have little crosses on their face, on their helmets?
I don't know. They always have. I always have. I don't know why. Tastes like a novelty soda of some kind.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like something that you would get at Cracker Barrel, and it's like ye old something something.
Okay.
soda.
Let me retaste it with that in mind. I think I can kind of see where you're coming from there.
I mean, I'm not saying like it. I'm not saying that
Like ye
there's
old
a specific one that I'm thinking of.
Right,
Just-
it's like ye old root soda.
Right.
It's like just some strange oddball root
right.
has been made into a soda. Back whenever it was common to do like, you know, cypress root soda. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. From
Okay.
it. Like that's the feeling I'm getting from it. It tastes good.
Yeah.
That's like I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
no, no.
that's,
Well, I haven't had it in years. I just remember I had it one time,
Mhm.
and I thought it was pretty interesting. So
Right.
I figured I'd go for it again since we can get Dogfish Head here now.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's exactly how it went down the first time.
What's up, Fabian?
Oh wow.
Hey, how do you say your name? I'm sorry.
Yeah, spell it
I'm
for
really
us.
bad. Is it a or ah or Fabian? I'm really messing it up, man. I'm sorry. I don't.
I think it's Fabio.
Fabio? Is it
Yeah.
Fabio?
Oh shit! You know what? I think I never fixed this. I think our